G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Chat with Cardy. We are finally back. I'm not too sure how consistent I'll be because when these first started coming out, I always kept saying, oh, these are going to be out every week. That is highly unrealistic. That is not happening. I had a look, the last time I got one of these out was actually the 16th of December, which even though it sounds like ages ago, it still feels... It really doesn't compete with the Goes Alright podcast, which is, Caden's new Spotify original. Quick plug, even though I'm not in the podcast or anything, but, it goes alright. And that wasn't supposed to be a pun. It does go alright. I do get around it. It's pretty good. But the chance of Kate McDonald listening to this podcast, even though he does, know who I am, gets around the content, is probably 0%, because why would he be watching this shit? But I brought it back due to popular demand. On my community post, I just thought, you know what, who still actually gives a shit? And it seems that quite a few people still give a shit. So we're back, and hopefully we're back with a bang. It's just a weird one because there can only be so many things I can say before I start repeating myself. Like, I'm sure I probably will end up repeating myself on a topic or a story that I think is funny, but then I realise, I already said this in episode 2. But that's alright. It doesn't matter. And again, unless you're Ryder Henchy, we don't need a face cam. I still find it quite ironic how he's the only person I ever interviewed. And at one stage, I was going to try and get these out every week with a guest. But I'll be honest with you, I don't pride myself on my interviewing skills. I'm not very good at that, to be completely honest. In fact, I'm not very good at all on podcasts and interviews. I can stuff up on my words at times, as you probably are well aware if you see my streams, but that's alright. I think we'll probably get right into how I've been, and if you've been living under a rock, and the reason why I've just said that is because I've been absolutely pumping out the streams over the last few days on the weekend, because I'm sure all the people subscribed to this channel and watching this know that I do have COVID, so I have to obviously be in isolation for the week, but I don't know, it's obviously different to how other people do it, but for my personal experience, I've been forced to stay in my room for the week. And let's look, if I was a younger kid, if I was a younger version of myself, I don't know, I'm still lazy to be fair, but a much lazier, unproductive version of myself, I'd be licking my lips going, Eureka, what a beauty. I miss out on school for a week, I don't have to leave my room for a week, I get meals cooked for me 3 times a week, and they get it brought up to me. I don't have to worry about doing pretty much anything. Don't have to do chores. Don't have to do this. Don't have to shower. Well, to be fair, I can shower, but I'll a little bit of a heads up. I haven't showered yet since I've been in isolation, and I've been in isolation since Thursday night. I just haven't really been fucked. But honestly, I might have a shower after this because I feel quite dirty, and I haven't left the house, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying, but I actually haven't felt any fresh air, so it's been a while since that. I will let you in on another little secret. I actually have left my room a couple times. It was just then, like 30 minutes before I decided to film this, to go grab a glass of milk, because I just, not a glass of, a glass of chocolate milk. And then last night, at like 2:30 in the morning, I was just deciding, you know what, I'm going to just watch 5 Sidemen Sundays for the sake of it. What's the point? Like, you get to the stage where you're just like, what's the point of fucking anything? I'm going to stay up as late as I possibly can, because what do I have to live for tomorrow? Even though I've got a whole heap of uni stuff to catch up on, which I haven't even batted an eyelid on, which is not great, and that's something that I'll definitely have to do after I film this. But I'm just like, what's the point? So I think I stayed up till like 6 a.m. Well, when I woke up disappointingly at like 2:30. I didn't. I woke up at like 10. But I don't know if this is just me, and it probably is, but as of late, every time I've woken up and haven't got anything major on in the morning, like nothing planned on, like if I've got just a day of, I don't know, just got to edit this video, I've just got to do this. I don't know why, but I decide to just go back to bed because I had an interesting dream. And more likely than not, more times than not, the dreams aren't even that fucking interesting. It's just me, I don't know, going to the park with someone I know, drinking grape juice. I don't know why I said that, but it's just not that interesting. So why would I voluntarily choose to go back to that dream than just to live my fucking life? start the day off great. It's hard to have a lot of motivation though to start off a day when you are forced to be inclined in a room that's no bigger than the goal square of, well, maybe not the goal square. Actually, how big is the goal square? Is it 5 meters outwards? The an AFL goal square. It's probably the size of my room when you think about it. Well, maybe not. My room's actually not that small. It's probably like, I'm just thinking of the dimensions. Probably like 4 meters, but no, maybe not 4 meters. 3.5 meters by. I'll be honest. When we did move into this house, which was a few years ago, which I might touch on a little bit later, how the process of moving houses over the years. We got pretty lucky with this house, but apparently my dad's in debt now. Well, everyone's in debt. The house prices are fucked, but my dad's more in debt, which doesn't shock me. But you know what? I'm not paying the house off, so I don't have to worry. But back to COVID. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah. Anyways, I went on a bit of a tangent. Anyways, last night I woke up. Well, I was still awake, I should say, at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, fuck this. I didn't think it was so much of a luxury to be able to walk downstairs and grab a glass of something to drink. I was craving, I think it was either milk or water, really badly at 3:30. I thought to myself, well, everyone else is asleep. No one's going to know this. This could technically be illegal. I could be breaking the law, and I'm now exposing it on this chat with Cardy, and I might have to get handcuffed and put into the cop car after this comes out. But I left my room. I thought, fuck this shit. I did have a mask on, to be fair. Walked downstairs, opened the fridge, and lo and behold, there was a bottle of Lift, a bottle of breakfast juice, and a carton of Big M. I'm like, get fucked. No one told me that this was in the fridge. I got, the best I was getting brought upstairs for the last 4 days was lukewarm glasses of water, because apparently cold glasses of water are bad for your immune system when you're sick. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. Even if it's worse for me, I was desperately craving a cold glass of water for the previous 3 or 4 days. Like, I'm going to quickly go over the first day. I know everyone experiences COVID differently, so I will go over how I sort of dealt with how I got COVID, like dealt with the symptoms. Because people kept saying when I put it out on my community tab, like 15 minutes after I got it, everyone's like, oh, watch out for days 2 to 4. Football Science said days 3 or 4, something like that. They kept saying the key days were days 2 to 4 of isolation, of the times you got COVID. That's the worst. Now, whilst those days I wasn't 100%, I still felt sick, those weren't the worst, far from it. The worst day by far was day 1, when I felt sick. And it was fucking weird because the sequences of events that led up to me testing positive for COVID were quite strange. For those who remember, and this was done on this channel as well, on the Thursday, I think I had a pretty fucking unproductive day. I'll be honest with you, lately I haven't been very productive, which goes to show, considering I haven't even started editing the Goal King. So for anyone wondering, that'll be out next week. I only just started editing that the other day. I decided to do my second episode of the Coach Career for my YouTuber's career mode. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's literally up on my channel. It's the last thing up on my channel. So if you don't know what that is, you've arguably been living under a rock as well. I decided to do a couple of episodes, but even at the start of that stream, like I had COVID at the time. I probably even had COVID the day before. I didn't feel that great. I didn't feel 100%. I felt kind of sick. I wasn't myself. I didn't have as much energy when commentating. Although that might be a bit hard to believe when you see what actually happened at the end of that stream in terms of not having much energy at all. I declined to get on a call with Geordie Pluto, but to be fair, I didn't really want to get on a call with Geordie anyways, but I felt sick, so I did feel sick. So before that stream, I already felt sick. And then when I ended that stream, controversially, I got done in a shit game. Like, seriously, Evo can fuck off sometimes. I had pretty healthy leads in the last quarter of all games of the career mode, and I still ended up losing. So I just decided, fuck this. I slammed my controller as hard as I could on the floor in rage, and that's a Cardy Clips. If you haven't checked that channel, go and check out Cardy Clips, a little cheeky plug. And I seriously do think that I destroyed the controller internally, because it still looks fine. It still works, I guess. Like, you can still turn it on and right, but it's not charging, and it hasn't charged in the last 3 or 4 days. So after that, I was too pissed to bother. I just ended the stream. I didn't think that, the sickness I had at the time was that severe. I just thought, I had a bit of a headache or something. It'll brush past me. I was planning on, funnily enough, filming the chat with Cardy that I'm filming now, to get out on to the next day. But then I just started. I just went on my phone. I was on my bed, scrolling through Insta. The more I scrolled, the sicker I felt. The more I scrolled, the sicker I felt. 30 minutes passed, and I was huddling in a ball on my bed, shivering. And I felt my head, and I could fucking tell I had a temperature, because it was hot and I was shivering. And it doesn't make any difference what the weather was outside. I could tell something was up. So I felt shit. Even though you don't expect it to get COVID, I felt at the time, yeah, fuck, I've got COVID. I don't know how I've gotten it, where I've gotten it, but I've got it now, and I'm just going to go downstairs and just fucking see if I've got it. So luckily we had rat tests at home. To be honest with you, if I didn't have a rat test at the time, there's a genuine chance. Actually, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. I definitely still would have expected to have COVID, but it would have fucked myself up in terms of having to isolate, because I would have got a result probably on Friday to get a rat test, and then that would have required me to isolate for an extra day, probably. But luckily I didn't have to do that. So we had a rat test. I got tested. I waited for my results in my bed. I still felt really sick. My mum, when she walks in with a mask, unless she's playing a practical joke, or she's really, really fucking cautious, I'm positive. And yes, I was positive. She listed all the requirements of what I had to do. I wasn't able to leave my room. So with my room, luckily, I've got 2 doors in my room, and one leads into the bathroom, and this is the only room upstairs that has that luxury. Like, the other 2 rooms, my sister's rooms, aren't able to do that. So I can take a shit and not leave my room technically. Well, not have to exit my room to go take a shit, if you know what I mean. So that's actually sort of lucky, because I sort of told my sisters, well, why would you want to use the bathroom I'm using if I've got COVID? But for whatever reason, they're still using that bathroom. So I'm not allowed to leave my room because I could spread it, yet I'm literally taking shits and pisses and sneezing sometimes, and disposing of my tissues in the bin in the bathroom, and they're still using it to brush their teeth there, it seems, because I heard them in the morning the other day doing that. So I don't fucking get it. Like, why would you just not use that? Like, surely for the week you go, alright, this probably don't want to use the same bathroom as someone who's got COVID, but clearly they don't care enough, and they're using it. So yeah, as I said earlier, like, it might sound like a holiday. Well, not a holiday. Far from a holiday. But it might sound like it's not so bad. People do things for you. You don't have to do chores. You don't have to worry about doing anything really. You can just relax and rest. But it just gets really boring. Like, I remember back in the day, I pretend to fake. Everyone's faked a sickness at least once in their life. If you haven't, you're lying. Where you're semi-sick, you've got a small headache, but it's fucking fine. And if you go to school, it'll go away. But it's like, geez, I've got an English double period. I hate English. Screw this. Screw having to memorize quotes about the Great War in London, even though we never did that. I think we did do World War One. If anyone remembers, knows who Felix Skiznicki is, that's what we did for year 11. But yeah, I took a sick day. And now that I think about it, it really would have been better off if I just went to school, for a lot more reasons than one. First reason, it's a lot more productive. You get to meet friends, you get to go outside, you get to just experience life properly. 2, you don't have to miss out on miss work, because I would have had to catch up on the work that I missed out on that day voluntarily. Jesus. And 3rd, you get one less, I guess, missed day of school on your attendance, which probably not that many people care when you think about it at the end of the day. But so yeah, I would just miss out on school, and I wouldn't really do anything but just go on YouTube all day. An extremely unproductive day. When you're really really that sick, you don't even feel like watching YouTube. You just can't. You just feel like sleeping, and that's exactly what I felt on the first day. So, contrary to what many people believed, that you don't feel as bad when you start off and it gradually gets worse, and then it gets better after the fourth day. No, funnily enough, mine's on like a downward spiral, which is a good thing. Like I probably have had it on the better end of the stick in terms of what I felt for having COVID. I haven't felt great, but the first day was fucking shit. It was the worst I felt in probably 3 years in terms of feeling sick. And I'd probably say the last time I felt as sick, or probably even worse, was when I went to Thailand. And I'm like, what the fuck are the odds? Genuinely. So I don't know if I probably have explained this on a chat with Cardy on a stream or something, but I'll quickly run through it again. After the footy festival on the last day, Friday before the grand final, I went to the KDOS meetup. So I'm fully blaming Cade McDonald for this. And I met Cooko, KDOS. The first time was pretty cool, and we had a bit of a kick afterwards. Then the weather changed for the worst. The weather was actually pretty decent before. Actually, no, it was pretty miserable that day, but it was sunny, I think, at a stage, and then it just hit. Melbourne's four season one day lived up to reality, and it was just shit. Windy, rainy, extremely cold, shiver. I felt horrible. Like, just a sudden click. 30 minutes after the meetup, still at the festival, I was about to leave, I just felt fucking terrible. Luckily, the rest of my family were, also at the city conveningly. I don't know why. So I think I walked. No, I must have taken the train. Took the train to Southern Cross. They were at the Docklands. I actually don't even know how I ended up getting there, but that's besides the point. I felt worse and worse and worse. I had to take the train back from the city to my house. I felt terrible. I felt the worst I've felt by far for a grand final day. It just wasn't great at all. Luckily, I wasn't making content. Well, I was at the time, but not necessarily revolving the grand final. It was still primarily footy cards. And then, what are the odds? The next day, you're going to Thailand. Like, out of all places, Thailand. And I didn't get better. I only felt worse. And, the experience traveling to Thailand was fucking shambolic. And then, I don't know, funnily enough, I started feeling better when I actually arrived. And then the next night I felt shit. So it was a weird trip. It really was. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We don't give a fuck about Thailand, even though it was a good place. But people from school gave me shit about not eating Thai food. That I only ate McDonald's and Burger King at Thailand. But I feel like that's just who I am. I'm not very cultured. I'm not sure that's the word. I'm not very adventurous with my foods. If there's like a different cuisine I've never tried, like Nepalese food, however you pronounce it, Nepal food. Nepalese food, that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, we're at a Nepal restaurant. Napoleon. I don't even know how to say it, and who gives a shit. You're the country of Nepal. We're at a restaurant that served food from the country of Nepal. I can't screw that up. You wouldn't have thought. And I was never planning on eating there, but I'm like, I'll give it a try. I was quite open. I was like, I'll looked at the menu. Nothing tickled my fancies because I'll be honest with you, maybe I'm, uncultured or as I said earlier, but why do different cuisines mix weird foods together and have that as a staple food of their country? Because when that was ordered on the table, I'm like, I'll give it a try. It was dreadful. I'm sorry. I don't want to offend anyone watching this who has any roots in Nepal, but I didn't like Nepalese food. The only thing that was half decent was the fucking rice, and that was plain white rice. That's going to be the same everywhere you go. I'm sorry, but it is. But I've never been one to, eat food from other countries. Well, I have been, but I'm not very experimental with my food, so I didn't have a lot of Thai food at the time. But to be fair, I didn't feel very experimental when I felt like shit. Again, I went off on a bit of a tangent there. What was I talking about? COVID still. Oh yeah, I felt the sickest on day one. I After like 7, I literally was just like, "Oof, I'm just gonna fall. I'm just gonna go to bed. Like I just there's nothing to do but sleep when you're feeling that bad. I couldn't even bear watching YouTube because I don't know. I just couldn't. Just didn't have it in me to watch any YouTube. Believe it or not, something that I do 6 hours a day. It seems like, and then yeah, it was a terrible night of sleep because I think at the time I was still very shivering. I think I definitely had a temperature of some sort. Had a big headache. Had a cold, like a runny nose, and my throat that night was killing me. I swallowed saliva, and it's as if I swallowed acidic, hydrochloric acid. I swallowed saliva, and it's as if I swallowed hydrochloric acid. It was horrendous. My mouth was burning every time I swallowed saliva. I haven't felt this way since like when I was 10, when I had a terrible illness, and every time I'd swallow saliva, it felt like my insides were burning. So I'd literally have to have a fucking spit cup carry me, because I remember don't know why I went to the Glen with my grandma and my mother. I don't know why I said mother and my mum, on the Friday when I felt like that. But I carried a fucking spit cup around. People at the Glen, anyone, shout out to anyone who's been to the Glen. Put hashtag Glen in chat if you've ever been to the Glen shopping centre. I've gone on so many tangents, but really, who cares? It's Chat with Cardy. Fuck, that renovation was one of the most disappointing renovations ever. Before the renovation, the Glen was a pretty good shopping centre, in my opinion. It was actually, it wasn't too fancy, not too over the top. But after the fucking renovation, it just changed drastically. The whole of the bottom level, I'm not here to be racist, but it's just overtaken. It's the Asian invasion, I'm sorry, but half of the shops are Asian. All the good shops are gone. All the nostalgic areas of the Glen are gone and replaced with utter shite. I went to the food court to get lunch. This was a couple of years ago. And all the shops of the food court were gone. Like, all the good places to eat were gone. And all that was replaced with Asian buffet areas, like Chinese. Again, I'm not here to be racist, but I'm not the biggest fan of Asian cuisine. I know something about it. I just don't really like it that much. So when I saw that literally every place there was Asian, I'm like, a little bit disappointing considering beforehand there was, so many good places to eat at the food court. But no, it's not just that. It's far from that. Just everything about it, all the nostalgia from that place is gone, and it just feels almost tacky and fake. They try and make it so modernised and revolutionary. Oh, the new Centro or the new Glen, but it just isn't the same. It's not as good. In fact, it's a lot worse. I don't know if anyone else shares the same opinion with me, because I don't know if too many people know even where the Glen is. But if you've ever been to the old one and the new one, which one's better, in chat, in the comments. Anyways, I don't know why I even bothered talking about the Glen. Oh yeah, the spit cup. I was carrying out a spit cup at the Glen. People there probably thought I was an absolute idiot, but I had to spit my saliva because I couldn't swallow it, and it probably was worse for me at the time. But that's what I was feeling on the first day of having COVID. And it was... Jesus, COVID just kicked in. And it was terrible because, even at the time where I was spitting in the cup, if I really, really wanted to, I'd go downstairs and grab myself a glass of water. Because I think water was fine. Water is just that universal drink that it can't do any harm to you, water, unless you drink 15 gallons of it in one go. But yeah, I couldn't. I just couldn't. I wasn't allowed to leave to go downstairs, and especially feeling that sick, it was just too much of a risk to go downstairs and grab water. But I couldn't call my mum to grab me a glass of water because it was 3 a.m. Even though she knows I've got COVID, I don't think she'd be too happy if I call her up at 3 a.m. Mum, can I have a glass of water? Fucking cunt, all this for a glass of water, are you serious? So I waited till the next day and I opted for a bottle of water, like a big bottle. Jesus, COVID. And did I get it? No, I got a lukewarm glass of water. And I got a bowl of... I asked for Wheat Bix for breakfast. I got 4 bits, 3 or 5, I can't remember how. It doesn't matter. It doesn't add anything to the story. I got bits of Wheat Bix into probably 40 milliliters of milk. I don't know why, but my mum thinks that's enough milk. That's not even enough milk for half a fucking bit of Milo, let alone 3 or 4. So I fucking had to call her again saying, well, I didn't say bitch, but bitch, bloody, what the fuck is this? Give me the rest of the bottle of milk. I want to do it myself. So I elected to pour the milk in the bowl. I didn't think my life would get to the point where I had to call my mum to give me the bottle of milk so I could actually have the opportunity to pour milk into my own bowl of Wheat Bix. This might have been the case when I was 3, and I would probably spill the milk if I did it myself. But I'm 19, and I have to have my mum doing it for me, it seems. Because I couldn't fucking leave my room. So, yeah, it wasn't great having them do the simple tasks for me in terms of just making all my meals. Like, in terms of dinner, that's fine. My mum always cooks dinner. But for breakfast and lunch, I always make my own breakfast and lunch unless I'm extremely fucking lazy, or I've got a very important video to edit and I've got no time to lose, like, making, spending 10 to 15 minutes cooking pasta or whatever. So I'm like, Mum, here's my proposition. You cook me a pasta and I'll promise you a very, very good Mother's Day present 2 weeks down the track. The very funny, and I don't know if it's funny, but the ironic thing is, and to be fair, my mum, we both shared a Mother's Day joke, crack up, as a result of this. What did I get my mum for Mother's Day? My sister got her an air fryer. My other sister probably got her nothing, because to be fair, she's sort of like me, just not really one to give out presents. And to be honest with you, I didn't have anything in mind on the Thursday, but if I would have known, I would have probably got her something on the Saturday for Mother's Day. But what did I get my mother for Mother's Day, might you ask? I got her COVID-19. Genuinely. On Mother's Day, she woke me up and went into my room and was like, guess what? I've got COVID. And I thought to myself, get fucked. Get fucked, you've got COVID. Well, not really. It's not like it was hard to believe, considering I had it a few days ago. I actually thought at the time everyone was going to get it, but still, it's just her and me. So that was, not great for her sakes. For Mother's Day, she got COVID. So we're both isolating at the moment. She got it on Sunday, so she gets out the next Sunday, and I get out Thursday, that is. But yeah, what a great... You don't get Son of the Year for that. You don't get many Sun points for giving your mum COVID on Mother's Day. I did actually get to experience Mother's Day with her, I guess, in a way, but through isolation. So it was not that great. That stunning Mother's Day gift that I promised 2 weeks ago after she cooked pasta for me for lunch was probably not the gift that she was expecting, and neither was I. So anyways, what we were talking about? We were talking about the fact that I wasn't... I'm currently now getting really pissed off because when I did go downstairs to grab a glass of chocolate milk or whatever it was, because I'm like, fucking... I'm sick of this. My room, there's no ventilation that comes into my room. Actually, there is. I could open a window. But I don't really want to open a window. I want to breathe fresh fucking air, because this is... I would almost argue this is polluted air. Polluted COVID air. I haven't left the house in 4 or 5 days. I've left my room twice for a total combined time of probably 2 minutes 12. And when I did go downstairs today, my dad forced me to wear fucking gloves. And it's like, I guess fair enough, no one wants COVID, right? Because all I wanted to was pour my own milk. I just didn't fucking give a shit at this point. I'm like, I want to be able to go downstairs and pour my own milk. My other fucking member of my family already has COVID. My other sister is immune to COVID because she got it 3 months ago. I was almost adamant that my dad and other sister were going to end up getting it, because if my mum got it, how's my dad not going to get it when they share the same goddamn room? Like, what the fuck? There's no way he still sleeps with her at the moment. That sounded a little bit weird, but you know what I mean? Like, if she's got COVID, you've got to sleep somewhere else, wouldn't you? So, I genuinely didn't think it was that bad. It's not like I'm going to the Melbourne CBD and just coughing in people's faces with a shirt saying I have COVID-19 dancing. I'm leaving the room of my house to pour myself a glass of milk wearing fucking a surgical mask and surgical gloves. Like, it feels like I'm in a bloody zombie apocalypse. Like, never. If you told me 2 years ago, probably less, 2.5 years ago, before the COVID pandemic, that I would need to wear a mask and gloves to pour myself a glass of fucking milk in my own house, I would tell you you're a fucking psychopath. But how times have changed. COVID, mate. I actually said, wouldn't you rather get COVID now? And I thought that was a genuine point at the time. I'm like, well, since we all have had it, wouldn't it be better off if we all just got it at the same time? So then, let's just say because you can't get it again for 3 months, pretty much, you're immune. So a month down the track, we don't have to now lock someone in their room and have them isolate, or it doesn't risk the cancellation of a family event 3 months down the track. And we don't have to isolate in our rooms. Everyone can just be wherever they want, because if we all got COVID, it doesn't really matter. I thought, wow, genius idea, I was going to get high fives all around. No, I got very, very pissed off reactions. My dad was like, well, I still don't want to get COVID. What if when I get COVID, I get heart problems? I'm like, you're not going to get heart problems. I guess that's a valid point. You're right. You never know. No one wants to get it at the end of the day. But he's not getting it heart problems. But I guess we don't know. But I just feel like it's a bit of a cop-out answer. Like, you're going to get it eventually, I feel. So even if you do end up getting it 4 months down the track, and you do get heart problems, wouldn't you rather just get it now, over and done with? I don't even know why he brought up heart problems in the first place. I don't think he's ever had heart problems. So that was his excuse not to get it. But I told him, but wouldn't you rather get it now and be guaranteed not to miss the trip to Adelaide? Because for anyone wondering, we're going to Adelaide for the Adelaide St Kilda game in 10 days. It's been a year of travelling for myself in terms of going to interstate footy matches. And then my sister's response, because she has a really important day of school, and that's almost more reasonable. Important week of school, she said, because she's got things planned, and I'm like, that's reasonable. Like, if my sister went out of her room and just said to everyone, wouldn't it be better off if the whole family got COVID? I would have told her, get fucked. I would have missed out on the Richmond St Kilda game. I would have missed out on... actually, never mind. At the time, we had to isolate anyway. So I don't know if they've changed the isolation rules, because back then when my sister got it, which was the week of the Richmond Saints game, would have been a month and a bit ago, I was forced to isolate for the week anyway in the house, not in my room, but in the house. Whereas nowadays, they can, my sisters can go wherever the fuck they want. So I don't know if they've changed the rules, if they haven't, if they're breaking the law, but I'll be honest, fair enough. Like, why do you have to isolate? Like, if I'm isolating in my fucking room, not leaving my room, and potentially leaving for a glass of milk, but that's about it. Why do they have to? Why can't they go out and about and into the into what am I fucking saying? And the public and do go on with their lives? Like, why do they have to be confined to their room due to this isolation crap? I don't know why you have to isolate if you don't have COVID. I don't give a... Who cares if a family member has it? If you just get them to isolate in a room, wouldn't that be reasonable? But maybe the rules have changed. If they have, that's a good thing, I guess. So anyways, what was I going to say? I genuinely don't know what the point I was making, or the point I was about to make. I completely forgot it. Oh yeah, it was my great idea that everyone should get COVID all at once. But it's like, how annoying would it be if, like, I don't know, my mum got COVID the day before or a couple of days before the Gold King Challenge, and I got it the day before and I had to cancel the Gold King Challenge? Or what if it was worse? What if the T10 footy match happened this year and I got the COVID the day before or you wouldn't call it T10, the YouTubers footy match, I should say. That would be pretty bad. But, yeah, so... Okay, fair enough. Maybe that was I probably shouldn't have said that, but I still stand by the fact that everyone either already has COVID or will eventually get COVID eventually in the future. Because the thing is, people are asymptomatic. That's fair enough. So I guess there are people that don't know they've already gotten it. I've probably already gotten it before. Maybe. Potentially. Probably not. Maybe. And I just don't know it because I didn't get tested. But I just feel like the majority of the people would have felt some sort of symptoms, whether they're as severe as mine were at the start or not. But then after that, it gradually got worse. It definitely got better because I had no intention of streaming the Friday night game. I thought I was just going to be as sick as a dog, but I was still like 50 to 60% right. But I don't know, I just felt like I was probably too sick to stream. If you watched that stream, I sounded sick. I kept blowing my nose every 30 seconds. And if you guys don't know what the sound of someone blowing their nose is, I'll give you an example. And the only reason I said that is because I actually legitimately needed to blow my nose as I was talking about blowing my nose. So great timing that was. And then on Saturday, it felt even better. And then Sunday, felt even better. And now I barely have a cold. Don't have a headache. Don't have a sore throat. I think it was either Saturday or I think Saturday. I lost a bit of my taste. People say that when you got COVID, you lose your taste. I'm like, geez, that would almost be cool or like different. I've never had that feeling in my life where I've lost the sense of taste. Never. But I definitely did at the time because I got treated to a what's the brand of the juice? I'm going to read it out. I've got it in the bin. Just read it out from the bin that I've got right next to me. Emma and Tom's Fruit Smoothie Karmarama, whatever the fuck that is. It looks like a very healthy brand of juice. So they thought that would help with my cold, COVID, with my sickness. It sort of did, but it still tasted like hydrochloric acid when it went down my throat, and I could barely taste it. So it was just a nice refreshing. It was just refreshing, but still burnt my mouth. So maybe that wasn't the greatest time to give me that juice because it didn't feel great down my throat. So I think that's probably it for COVID. I literally 30 minutes of this chat with Cardy is me talking about COVID, but I think that's fair enough. Like, what else am I going to talk about this week? What else have I fucking done? I've done nothing this week aside from streaming. I've just done nothing, and I don't know. It just sort of sucks. I said, funnily enough, on the Thursday, I want to be a lot more productive after this. Today, after this stream, I'm going to be very productive. I'm going to film the chat with Cardy, go to the gym, do this, do that. And then I, of course, did none of that because I couldn't. I felt like shit. So, yeah. So, I'm still in isolation. I get out Thursday. I'm going to get out. I genuinely, because I just fucking find this shit. It's almost as if, though, 12 a.m. is lockdown for me. Like, when it's almost like Dan Andrews saying, Patrick Cooper, you are not allowed to leave your room until Thursday 12 a.m. So I might almost do like an Evo stream until it hits Thursday. I might run out of my house naked or something. Not naked, but... Or is it a full 24... Is it a full 7... Like, because people say 7 days, but is it like 192 hours? Because that is what 7... Is that 168 hours? I don't think it is. It's just literally on your 7th day you can get out. It doesn't matter what time it is. Because let's be real, I probably had COVID. I definitely had COVID earlier than when I got tested. So, yeah, that was all the COVID shit. Before, I said earlier, before that stream, my controller got done. So, I actually don't know if there will be an Evo stream on Wednesday. I hope to get that charged because otherwise... Yeah, I don't know when I'll next play Evo or any PS4 game, as a matter of fact. But the only games lately I've been playing are genuinely just Evo because it's for the content, isn't it? Like, if I wasn't an AFL channel, I don't even know if I would have bought the game, let alone, played it as much as I have for the channel. But even if I didn't have an AFL channel, I'd still be an AFL fan, a pretty big one, so I probably would have bought it anyways. I would have had the money to. But yeah, like as I said earlier, I'm going to go to a few interstate games this year. Adelaide next week. I've been to Adelaide twice before. The City of Churches, they call it. The first game was 2010 against Port Adelaide. What's the like with me in Port games? Every time I go to a Port game, it's a tragic loss. That was a 10-point loss. Stephen Milne kicked one of the best goals I've ever seen, like live and even on TV. That goal on the pocket, it was pretty shit conditions, pouring down with rain. Amy Stadium it was, football park. So, I can say I've been to that ground because anyone who hasn't been to that ground will never be able to go to that ground because it's demolished. Then I went Adelaide Oval 2016. Adelaide Oval was a great stadium, beautiful stadium, great ground, probably top 3, almost even top 2 that I've been to. Never meant to opt this, but I probably will this year. So yeah, Adelaide, I'm going to go to next week. If we can't beat the Cats, that is going to be a majorly important game if we can't beat the Crows. Otherwise, we could drop to 5-5. But Adelaide aren't looking great, so I expect a pretty sound win. I'm going to quickly check the sports bet odds. What are the odds? Because I'm still a bit pissed off after that Melbourne game. I'm still a bit raw, my emotions. I expected us to contend a little bit better than that, even though it wasn't a woeful performance. Like we're down by 41, it was 47, and we cut the margin like 22. But these got a couple of cheap goals at the end that made the scoreboard seem a little bit worse than what it probably should have been. But I still can't believe the odds for West Coast Melbourne. $19 are West Coast. Melbourne $1.01. And the Eagles are playing at home to make matters even worse. So I'm not too sure how many people are going to be tipping. In fact, if anyone tips the Eagles, you might as well jump off a bridge. So yeah, Adelaide are the plans. Sydney and Brisbane hopefully as well. And then I genuinely want to go to Perth by myself. The thing is, though, I sort of wouldn't mind crashing in at someone's house because I don't want to pay for hotel accommodation. That's going to cost money, and I don't want to spend money when I don't have to. Maybe I can stay at Drewsy's place for a couple of days, or UCAT's. Anyways, that's to worry about when that happens. Now I want to talk about things or people in particular that I purposely avoid. And those are the people that usually are at shopping centres or stand outside of supermarkets such as Woolies and Coles. They try and sell you shit. They've got the two of them dressed in their uniforms with whatever they're trying to sell or inform. Oh, here's the Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. Please, do you have a minute of your time? They always go up to you saying, "Oh, hello, do you have a minute of your time?" Like, try and be so nice, and it's like it's never a minute. I think if there was a survey for all the people who did actually go up there and take a quote unquote a minute of their time for these people, how many of them genuinely only got a minute of their time wasted? Maybe 0.1% at best. Like, fuck, most people are there for like 50 minutes. Well, I mean, not 50, but like most people are there for 15, 30 minutes just not wanting to be there, getting informed about something they don't really give too much of a shit about because they were too nice to just say fuck off. Because at the end of the day, everyone just wants to say fuck off to them, unless you've got some massive, I don't know, you have some massive care towards the Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. That's just an example because the other day that was literally what it was. Now, and I've got nothing against breast cancer awareness. That's a great thing that people are doing, but I already knew about it. Just because you brought it up doesn't mean that I want to take up 30 minutes of my day when generally it is outside a supermarket. And how long do people normally spend shopping at a supermarket? Depends. But a lot of people are just there for quick errands, quickly grabbing milk, bread, butter. That a lot of people just grab that because that's what runs out quickly. And then it should only take 5 minutes at most. But you've already wasted 20 to 30 minutes when you haven't even entered the shopping centre because you're now fucking being forced to sign a petition or some shit like that. Like, I mean, another example, and this was when my parents got sucked in heavily, was another one of these stupid things where people go up to you saying, "Oh, you want this, you want that." The key is just have headphones in or AirPods and then just walk straight past them, and then they're not going to. Why would you go up to? You could pick anyone. Why would you go up to someone with AirPods in? There's a 0% chance they're going to want to talk to you. There's a less than 0% chance actually. Likely because I still look quite young. I'm not their target demographic. Like, they're not going to go up to me, you know, for skincare routines, are they? Because some people that run those stalls are there for skincare, and they want to sell. I don't know what the fuck they want to sell. I don't even know what they're there for, to be completely honest. I would hate to do that job, because you just get declined. It's like Sammy's card when he goes to buy something from KFC. Declined. You're just going to get declined constantly. It's like when Kato tries to get a girlfriend. Actually, no, it's not, because he actually has one at the moment. I don't even know why Kato was maybe because I saw the fact that he got one. That's just what sprung into my mind. So good on him if he's watching this. Or if he's listening to this, I should say. Because Ryder, he doesn't like it that there's nothing to see. He wants moving. Maybe I should add a moving image of something right now on screen, just to satisfy Ryder, the prick. Anyways, what was I going to say? Because I can't fucking remember now, because Ryder has just fucked my mind up. Yeah, it's those people at those... I don't even know what you call them. I genuinely don't know what you call them. But those people are people that I choose to avoid. And I've actually been stopped before. At least I've been asked. I haven't said yes. I just said sorry, no. Like, I just say sorry, I can't. I don't have the time. And it's genuinely the case. Like, I remember I had 2 minutes to catch my train at Melbourne Central Station, and a cunt, of course, had to be around the corner trying to get me to want to fucking buy one of their remote control... It was like some remote control drone, which it's pretty... I actually do want a drone, but I don't give a fuck. I'm not wanting to buy a drone when I need to catch my train in 2 minutes. I just told him, piss off, mate. I didn't. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I've got to catch my train. To catch my fucking train. And another one, homeless people. When you see them all at the city, and I know it's a little bit of a more sensitive topic in a way, because, you know, they're homeless, it's all that thing, but let's be real, I feel bad just walking straight past a homeless person who are begging for money, because, you know, I feel bad for them, because, you know, they're in a less fortunate situation than I am, and they obviously need as much help as they can get. And when I don't even give them any eye contact, as if though I'm not even acknowledging them as a person, as though, oh, they're fucking not even there. But that's far from the case. I don't want to look at them in their eyes, because I don't want to see the puppy dog eyes begging for money, when more, in fact, almost every day now, all the time, I don't carry cash on me. And when I do, it might be a $50 note. And I tell you what, I don't care how generous you think I am, I'm not just giving a $50 to some random homeless person because they asked. I'm sorry, but the best I'll give is a couple of dollar coins, potentially. But no one carries cash around these days. So unless the homeless person wants to invest in an FPOS machine, you know, it's going to be pretty tough to get any money from anyone at this current day of age, because the whole world is pretty much turning cashless. Like, a lot of places now are totally cashless. You can't pay cash anywhere. I think Marvel, the MCG, I think they're all cashless now as well, and it makes sense. I guess it would be shit for 11-year-old me, who would love to go under the dispensers of Woolworths self-serve checkouts to find coins, because no one really uses coins anymore, do they? Because, you know, they all use their card now, their phones. Like, half the people pay with their phones now, to be fair. So yeah, unless homeless people don't carry an FPOS machine around with them at all stages, then people are going to give out the same excuse that they don't have cash. And it's probably true for the most part, but if you've got one out, then they haven't got a genuine excuse, because technically, unless they literally have no money on them, on the card, like a Sammy GFC, why couldn't you just tap and go a couple of bucks? But that's the thing, homeless people, that, you know, you're afraid that if you give them the money, they're going to spend it on bad things they don't need, like drugs and alcohol, is what a lot of people, is why a lot of people are skeptical of really giving anyone money, homeless people on the streets, which is not great when you are someone who doesn't obviously spend the money on drugs and alcohol and genuinely need it for good. But it's happened to me, I think, for my footy, before a footy game with my sisters. I was in the car I elected to stay in the car for the first half of the game, my sister's game, and we were in like there were like no car parking spots outside the ground, so we had to park out in front of like a small strip of shops outside of like an IGA. You had like a small little pharmacy, a fucking bakery, a newsagent, and there was some homeless guy, some fucking weirdo, like a typical Frankston bogan, and I think this was in Seaford as well, so not far off. And obviously he fucked his life in some way, shape or form. He kept just begging for money, and people would give him money because he wasn't just like a normal beggar, a harmless beggar that would just ask. He would go up at someone's faces like, give me some money, I need money. And I don't fucking understand how it worked, but at least 10 different people gave him money. And I'd kid you fucking not, he walked straight into a goddamn, what was it? I think it was a bottle mart or whatever it was that they had. And he just walked out with like a 6-pack of VBs or whatever it was. Chugged them down early days at 10:30am in the morning. Like, that is the prime example of a homeless person, or even, I don't even know if he's homeless or not, just begging for money for alcohol, drugs and alcohol. So, yeah, that was actually quite entertaining. More entertaining than the game than my sister's footy, which, I'll be honest, it's more entertaining than netball, but it's still not that entertaining, sister's footy, I'm sorry, but step up your game, Anna. What else we got? We've got annoying things. I'll tell you what's annoying. When my parents open the door unannounced. Particularly when I'm streaming. I don't fucking want to have a discussion with my parents when I'm streaming. I need a sign inside my door that says, I am streaming, do not disturb. Even if I had that sign, they'll still purposely ignore it. Like, I hate when they fucking open the door unannounced. That is why I choose to wank. I don't know why I should be saying this now. At the very late hours of the night. Like at 1, 2 a.m. Because if I did it any time during the day, I could get my dad walking in saying, guess what? I invested in crypto. I don't know, some stupid shit that he always comes out with. Like 95% of the time my dad comes into my room and says something. It's something that I don't give a fuck about. Like, he storms into my room. Oh, did you know that the Eagles are getting smashed by the Tigers? Or what's another example? I don't know. Did you know that? Oh, do you know that Essendon beat Hawthorn? Like, oh, really? I wasn't aware. I was fucking streaming the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just things I didn't really need to know. Like, I'm not too pissed off if my dad goes into my room at all. Like, it's fine. I'm not like my other sister who's pissed off whenever anyone even sets foot into their room. But when you don't knock, and particularly when you don't knock and I'm streaming, and you barge in and say, like, literally, he could have said anything, and I could have been streaming. Like, your underpants aren't able to be washed, old Patrick. I don't know. Oh, did you shit your pants again? Like, just stupid shit. Don't even know why that came to my mind. And then, to make matters worse, they don't close the door on the way back. I had the door closed. They storm in without knocking, while streaming. Then they don't fucking close the door. So I have to go, chat, I'm sorry, but my dad is a bitch and I've got to go up and close the door because I don't want the door open when streaming. I think everyone who's ever streamed or can even relate to me could relate to me there that they don't want the door open while streaming. And also what sucks, when it is late at night, or when I just do have the light turned off, and then they come into my room, turn it on, and then leave. They fucking leave. They turn the light on when I didn't want it on, and they don't turn it off. That pisses me off. It's a small thing that annoys me, but it's quite frustrating. It's quite frustrating. Another thing that's also mildly frustrating is when you're going down, opening the fridge, opening the cupboard, you want a snack, and you look in there and you go, oh, fucking hell, a box of cornettos, lovely. You know, your day's already kick-started, even though it's 4 o'clock and you've just woken up, and you're starting the table for the box with a cornetto for I don't even know what the meal you call it, dinner, because it's midway through lunch and dinner, and the box is empty, and you go, well, for starters, when the fuck did we have cornettos? Why did no one tell me we had cornettos? And why the fuck's the box of cornettos still in the freezer? Why are you giving people the false sense of hope, thinking there are still cornettos in the fucking box in the freezer when there aren't any fucking cornettos? Put the box in the goddamn fucking bin. Now, it's not as bad as it seems. Like, that was a little bit over the top. And I'll be honest with you, I have done it before. I fall victim to it myself. I've done it more times than I wish to admit, where I've had the last cornetto, that's just an example, last bag of jumpies, and those jumpy, those 6-packs of jumpies. You know what jumpies are? Jumpies are underrated. What is another example? I don't know. I have the last fucking box, pack of shapes or whatever, and I'll just leave the box. And I don't do it there to piss the next person off, to have a false sense of hope, which I'm sure someone probably does it just so I can feel that. I do it because I'm just too lazy. I'm genuinely just too lazy to grab the box and put it in the bin. That would take 15 seconds at most. Because, when you're going to go the last pack of shapes, you're not in you're not really in the mood of being productive, are you? You're in the mood of grabbing a pack of shapes, grabbing a glass of chocolate milk, and just laying in your fucking bed for 4 hours and watching YouTube and just wasting the hours of day. So that's annoying. That can be annoying. Or when there are special requests. My dad would often go to the supermarket, every week and go, special requests. So we get to request a couple of special things. Now, unless you're like a complete loser, you'd probably request a nice snack or whatnot, not a fucking bag of corn or a bag of peas that apparently Ryder elected to buy and actually started enjoying on the goddamn train, is what UCAT told me. I cannot fucking believe he did that. If I actually have a photo, I might almost show that on screen. I might start doing that. If I've got a photo to show something that I have, it wouldn't kill me to just show it on screen, would it? So I'd often get a bag of chips. I don't mind the odd chili chips from Kettle or the flaming hot Cheetos. You've seen me indulge in a few of those on streams in the past. When I specifically request something and some other cunt decides to eat half the bag, or worst case scenario, eats the whole bag without me knowing, that pisses me off, because they've still got their snack that they've elected to buy or to choose from the supermarket. More often than not, it's something I don't even like. So even if I wanted to steal back, I couldn't, because I don't like the food that they've decided to the snack that they've decided to choose. So fuck you for doing that. Genuinely. Another thing that's annoying. It's happened before. It happened a while ago. I don't know if I've said the story. I bought 15, 16 packs of footy cards. I didn't get anything good in the packs. And then I go back and past the same newsagent. It was at a shopping centre. It was at Forest Hill. Does anyone know where Forest Hill Chase is? And from the exact same fucking newsagent, I see a kid all excited because he's pulled a Magic Wild. I just bought 16 packs from that box, and some dickhead kid packs the one pack and gets a fucking Magic. That really pisses me off. I wasted $50. I think it was of my birthday money, or whatever it would have been. It wouldn't have been anything but that, honestly, because let's be real, I was 11 at the time. How else would I have $50 just on me? It would have been birthday money. So I've wasted my birthday money on bloody crappy packs of footy cards, and this kid comes along and gets a Magic Wild, gets the best card in the box. Really annoying. So we're going to finish the chat with Cardy with Wordle, because if you have been on my streams lately, you might have seen that I've been playing a bit of Wordle lately. And I haven't been playing the genuine Wordle, which is on the New York Times website or whatever it is. I have played that off stream, I've obviously given that a go, but you can only play it once and then that's it, and you can't play with viewers. I just feel like the whatever website I'm using at the moment for the streams is really good. It's fun, and I might do it more often. I genuinely might do it more often as a replacement of Evo, because lately Evo, it's sort of crap because I can't bloody play it with my controller. But the Evo streams as a whole do quite well. But yeah, I'm enjoying Wordle as of late. It's pretty fun. I sort of was late to the craze. Everyone was talking about it. I'm like, it sounds fun, but I just can't be fucked. I was just during a time where I just couldn't be bothered getting into something new. But when you mix it with the things you're already doing in the first place, and that's streaming, you play that on stream, Great combination that is. So yeah, I've been enjoying it, and I could arguably thank my sister. A couple of weeks ago, was it a couple of weeks ago? Was it in Cairns? It might have almost started when I was in Cairns. I think it actually genuinely did. She was like, "I'll play the daily Wordle." First time I genuinely had a go at Wordle, and yeah, pretty fun. Not gonna lie, it's potentially the new Kahoot. Probably can't beat Kahoot yet, but it's good fun, and expect me to probably play it again this week after either a footy game or on a standalone stream itself. But there you go, guys. That was the chat with Cardy, the first of the year. It probably wasn't expected to start the first one on the 9th or whatever, whenever this gets out. I'm probably getting out on the 9th of May. Obviously, the last one of these I got out was last year on December. But yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it. I'd like to see what people think of this one. Hopefully it does pretty well. I like to do it for watch hours because a lot of videos, people just sit through a couple minutes of it and just fucking click off. But I know a lot of people who watch the whole thing, they like to listen to it in the background. So I can see why you don't need something to look at. It's really not meant to be something that you just stare at the screen for an hour, because if it really was, no one really wants to see me. Like, what I mean by that is, like, if I had a camera on, it still would be boring just looking at me talk in front of a screen for an hour. I guess it's slightly better, slightly more appealing for some, but I don't know. I just feel like there's no need. Hopefully the mic is good enough. If not, if the mic quality is not amazing, again, I'm using a Blue Yeti. I'm not using what they use on Goes Alright. I'll probably try and fix it for the next one, because I do want the mic quality to be as good as it possibly can be, when that's the only thing that I really am using, because I'm not filming myself, aren't I? So hopefully that's decent enough, at least better than what it has been previous episodes. I'll give it a couple of shout outs to those who have actually enjoyed the Chat with Cardy series, or more in particular those who responded to that community post that I put up that wanted me to do this. We had Nick responded, but didn't respond in a way that had anything to do with the Chat with Cardy. He just wanted me to do more footy cards, of course. Xavier Brand loves it. Dragon Sports especially loves it. He 1,000,000% loves it. 10,000,000% loves it. I can't even see how many zeros there are. Sportsnut likes it. Lockie Miller and AFL legend. Shannon wants to get on. Oh, fuck. 100 likes and we get Shannon on for the next Chat with Cardy. It probably won't be Shannon on for the whole thing, though. Maybe for 10-15 minutes. I might interview him on how Mount Burr is as a destination. I don't fucking know. And then Lenza, again, getting around the podcast or whatever you call it. I still don't know how to get things up on Spotify, but that's probably because I haven't been bothered looking up how to put anything on Spotify. So if anyone does want me to put these out on Spotify, I don't really know why, because it'll probably get 2 viewers and Spotify will be like, this must be so fucking shit that we won't even allow you to put it on our website because of how shit it is. Then I probably won't even bother. But I'll try and maybe see if I can get them up on Spotify. Can't see why not. Can't see how that can be so difficult. But aside from that, thank you for listening. I'll try and get this out later tonight for something to listen to.